fastest show in sports.
It doesn't make a difference who you are. It doesn't make a difference who you root for in the National Football League. It really doesn't. There's one team where everybody wants to hear about. Everybody wants to know what's going on. Everybody needs to know what's happening with this franchise because they are America's team, after all. But you need to know, and what we need to know even more when it comes down to needing to know every single thing about this franchise and all the ins and outs, the ups and downs, we need good, solid analysis. The type of analysis that comes from a former player, somebody who's been in the trenches, somebody who knows what it's like, somebody who can break down a game, break down the good, the bad, the ugly, and immediately leave us knowing that we have grasped insight that might never have been available before. We need that person.
Man, this is hard because you don't know. If you're a Cowboy fan, you don't know. Yeah, you do. I do. Yeah. Well, you don't know. This team's up, this team down. This team's up, team down. And a team that loses, I say a team that loses to the two teams that the Cowboys have lost to is worse than a team that even if they beat the other teams that they were not supposed to beat. You know, you cannot be considered a top team if you are not going to be able to win the games you are supposed to win. And the two games, you got the Chicago game, you got this Carolina game. You know, offenses that were struggling a little bit and, you know, trying to come around, but they get to Dallas and there is no struggle. I mean, they move up and down the football field. I just don't know if I've ever seen a defense this bad, ever, like the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Such insight, such gripping knowledge that we have. Thanks to Michael Irvin, every single one around America right now knows exactly what's happening with the Dallas Cowboys. They have insight. They have the man who's been there. They have the guy who's taken a lot of hits over the years to the head with really what weren't great helmets. But we know everything we need to know about the Dallas Cowboys right now. Let's be honest for a second here. Mike basically said nothing. He didn't say anything that anybody else has said, but because he's Michael Irvin, he'll get 30, 40,000 clicks every time he speaks. That's okay. I get that. But what he really hasn't said is how awful it is in Dallas. I mean, here we talk about other teams, but the Dallas Cowboys continue to be a running joke. And this is a team right now that has a quarterback who's actually doing a pretty good job in Dak Prescott this season. And he's another one. Prescott may want to take a cue from Tua in Miami and call out his coach. But no, just don't call out the coach. Call out the players. Call out the owner. Because this is always the one thing that I find it difficult. And I hate to do this to some really good people. Because again, as I note, I'm a fan guy. I always root for the fans in everything that goes on. Because you are the guys and gals who got to pay the freight for all this. You pay these ridiculous ticket prices. You pay these parking prices, the concession prices. You basically have to take out a fourth and fifth mortgage on the home to be able to go to a lot of these games. Even to afford them in your house anymore, you still got to take out a mortgage with the cost. So I'm a fan guy. I want the fans to be able to succeed. In Dallas, you can't, because you got the biggest horse's ass owner in the National Football League. Well, okay. Yeah, well, no, he is that. I mean, I could put Stephen Ross in there, but Stephen Ross is just clueless. I mean, that's all it is. He's a multi-billionaire with a tremendous amount of money and a lot of other things. And if the Dolphins win, he's happy. If the Dolphins don't win, he'll work on something else. He's got a Grand Prix coming in the spring. He's got a tennis tournament. He's got a stadium that makes money. Come on. He's not that kind of guy. Jerry Jones is the one who sticks his foot into everything and has got to be in charge of everything. And the Dallas Cowboys will not, going to choose my words carefully here, okay? The Dallas Cowboys will not reach a Super Bowl as long as Jerry Jones is still the owner. Now, they've made the playoffs. They might make the playoffs. And as a matter of fact, they might even win a game in the playoffs. In the NFC right now, you can name a bunch of teams that you'd say would probably beat the Cowboys in the playoffs. Easily? Well, maybe not easily, because the NFC is one of those divisions. But yeah, you've got teams that'll beat them. You certainly got AFC teams that'll beat them. They may win a playoff game, but they will never win another Super Bowl as long as Jerry Jones is in charge. As long as Jerry is the guy picking the coach, as long as Jerry is the guy making the personnel decisions and making huge mistakes like with Micah Parsons, which he still won't admit to, which has hurt this team, no doubt. But as long as you got him, you're stuck. You're going to be okay. You're going to be an average team. You're going to win your share of games, but you're not going to be that good. And I would love to hear from Cowboys fans, because if you're watching this on YouTube, all you have to do is get down into the comments section and start this. Or you can send off an email to our Gmail at fastestshowinsports@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from Cowboys fans and tell me why you think this franchise will be able to do anything with Jerry Jones at the helm, and why you keep giving him your money. Jerry knows he's got you by the tail. He's suckered you in. You're going to keep paying for this franchise no matter what he does. So he's got you. You continue to make him wealthy. And sure, he wants to win a Super Bowl, but he's not going to. I feel sorry for the Cowboys fans. I do. Nah, I don't. Nah, not really. I mean, no, I feel sorry for fans. But for Cowboys fans, it doesn't really make a difference to me if the Cowboys win or lose. When I was a kid, I rooted for the Cowboys. And you know why? Because the Cowboys were on TV, national TV, every single week on CBS. They were America's team. We saw all their games like it was a home market, even in New York. And I wasn't a Jets fan, and I certainly wasn't a Giants fan. I just hooked on to the Cowboys, so I became a Cowboys fan. When I played high school football, I wore number 73 in honor of the Cowboys, because I wanted to be like that. I wanted to be at that level. But now, nope, you're in trouble.
Ed Berliner, the fastest show in sports.